Hi everyone, this is Deanna, the Organized Miss, and I got this paper pack, which had been maybe used, someone washing it clothes, but I got it at like our local bookstore. They sell used books, and so I picked up some stuff, and they just threw this in because it was in the craft section. I think maybe it was 50 cents, but it had all the papers in it. They're just, travel themed, double-sided papers. So I decided to use these to make a gift for my daughter and her fiance. That my daughter had actually asked me to make a junk journal of some sort for her to use. When they travel, they mail themselves a postcard back. And so they want to have a way to keep it. And so I've really just been thinking about what could that look like, and I want to make it unique to them. And this ended up just inspiring me. So I have already ripped out all the papers, and for the cover I wanted to kind of make it a little sturdier or reinforced. So I have some just is this watercolor paper? I think this is watercolor paper. Mixed media paper of some sort. And what I think I'm going to do, or what I've decided, this one is the back piece a little thicker than the front. But I'm going to glue them. First I was just going to glue this, and I decided it wasn't sturdy enough. So I'm going to glue each one inside of it, and it'll give it a little bit more stability for the covers. And then I'll cut them down to size. And I am going to be using my cinch and these little coils. This is how I'm going to bind it. So I am just going to turn on the camera each point along the way and show you what I'm doing and how it's coming along. So I've got them glued, and I think they still need to dry a little bit more. I'm going to put them back. I've got them sitting underneath a box to kind of help them dry flat and straight. But, yeah, this one's a little thicker. So, anyway, it's working out. It's given me what I needed to be my covers. So, let me just put these under here. Let them dry. Okay, so the next thing I did was just cut these strips. Well, find one that I haven't cut in half somehow. Okay, so the strips that were on the top of them, then I just cut them off because I'm going to use the whole page in the book. And so now what I'm going to do with each of these, I have one that I made already, so I just took one of the pages and I cut it into like 4 strips. Well, I cut it in half, and then I cut that in half, and I put one on this side and one on this side. And my thoughts are that the postcards, when they get them, would slide right here. And this is how they'll be held in the book. And then, of course, every page will have a tuck there. And so then all I did was I kept it this size. And all I did was then round the edges. Here's another of this piece, the other half. So I'll cut that up, and I'll use that. And I'll repeat that with each of these. And so there's 2 pages of each pattern in here. For the most part, there's a couple, there's only one. And so I'll make sure, because it's double-sided, then I'll pick 1 or 2 to cut and use for the borders. At first I thought I was going to use one page and use its complement, the duplicate to do that. But then what I learned is I'm still going to have this from each page, so I might as well. I hope I'm making sense. I'm going to put all the rest of the pages together like this. So I'm not filming all this because I figure it would be too boring, but I thought I'd show you. So this page that I cut into the strips, I'm being mindful because this pattern is pretty busy, but I thought it goes well with that. Then I used the reverse side over here because I thought that would not be, and that would be too kind of boring. So I'm just kind of being discerning about what side of the paper I would put where. And so because I did use this as a full page, I know I'm not going to use another full page of this one, so I didn't mind using this to be the pockets. So again, I'm going to put this one on this side, and I'm checking more than once to make sure that I, you know, put it on the same side, that I don't accidentally put it over here, so that when it turns the page, the pocket goes here, because this is where the coil is going to be. So I hope that made sense. And then I'm actually watching videos while I do this. The one that's on right now, well, I paused it to come on here while I was talking. It just seems easier to me to, you know, to do it and then pop on here and show you what I've done, because I'm not one that can craft and talk at the same time for some reason. But right now I'm watching Joey DeFee's video on 10 best money saving tips junk journal makers need to know, which is brilliant. Brilliant. She's taken us on a little tour of her craft working space, which, I mean, I completely relate to Joey. My space is not IKEA perfect here. It is quite a mess if you could see me, but it's my mess. I kind of know where everything is. So, okay, so I'm just checking it one more time, and I'm going to make sure it goes on this side. And this little bottle here just has glue, maybe the art glitter glue. I just put the glue in here so I could get a little bit, you know, more precision little application. So now I'll continue working on the rest of these, and then I'll come back for my next step. Okay, so I have now glued the strips on all the pages, and I did my best to kind of, you know, make sure they weren't too clashing. And yeah, I like the way it's turning out. I didn't even count. Maybe I should go back and count and see how many I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so there must have been 12, 15 pages, maybe, is that right? Or so in the kit. But anyway, once I've got them all cut up, this is what I ended up with. And now I'm gonna round the corners and then put them in my cinch, which right here. And it's got a little thing to show you, like, see the center, you gotta line it up. And so I put a little tiny tick mark right there because all of these are gonna need to line up. I'm not gonna punch them through all at once. I'm doing them, you know, one at a time. I may be able to put more than one in, but this is the same as having 3 pages. It's, you know, it's pretty thick, and it's cardstock. It's not paper. So I'm thinking I can only do one at a time, but I'm gonna hole punch them all, and then I'm going to, you know, make sure I don't have too many of the same kind of patterns in a row. If that makes sense. Kind of mix them all up. And then I'll come back. Success. I did have to go and watch a quick YouTube tutorial to remind me what order the papers and the covers go in, because I remembered it was something, but it was put the papers on first, then the top cover, then the bottom cover upside down to make sure your binding is in here. So I did, and I went ahead and I liked this paper. So this is what I glued to that to my cardstock as my cover, the front and the back. And I was thinking, you know, if they want to put a picture of themselves on one of their trips or something, they could, or not, they could just leave it like that. And then they could put their postcard like this. They could have, you know, like 2 postcards. And I think it turned out pretty good. I'm pleased with it. The only one you can see right here, I didn't realize. After this one, then I made sure all my papers were going the same way, but the patterns were all, you know, anyway. I know I gotta let it go. No such thing as perfection, right? But I'm pleased with it otherwise. I'm pretty excited. I was excited that my daughter asked me to make her something. You know, I first started this junk journal journey. It was really to help me with healing my brain, and I just really fell in love with junk journaling and journal making and planning and crafting, and so the first journals I made, my daughter was like, "Oh, that's an interesting hobby." But now she's become very supportive, and she'll even bring me, you know, junk to go in my books. So when she asked me to make her something for her postcards for her travels, I was so excited. And you know what I realize is this can grow. I could get bigger rings, you know, if she wants more pages. Now, obviously, I'd have to use some other kind of cardstock and sprinkle it in there, but totally manageable. So that is it. I'm pretty excited about this postcard holder. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.